That's Dolores. That ain't no nun. He's just dressing up like a nun. Shoot her.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sips and Scripts, a podcast where we make a cocktail and talk about one of our favorite films from the past and present. Hi, my name is Kayla Rose, and I'm an entertainment blogger at InMyTheater.com.
I'm Terrell Bernard, film enthusiast.
I'm Kirsten Jackson, and I am a blogger and cocktail influencer at LowCountrySocialite.com. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Hey.
Gosh, you guys are such fucking weirdos. So, today we are talking about Sister Act.
Yay.
I love this movie. Yes. So today we're talking about Sister Act, and this is going to be a two-parter because the next episode will be Sister Act 2. Back in the Habit.
Yeah, love it. Love it. They were so creative with that name. We love it.
Right. So Sister Act is a 1992 comic directed by, I cannot say his name, Emile Ardolino. What else has Emile Ardolino? Oh, he did Dirty Dancing.
Oh.
Okay.
That's why this movie's like that. Okay, got it.
it does kind of, fall in the same vein as like
who could have probably made this movie real good?
Oh boy,
Lin-Manuel.
Really? No.
Hell no.
This would have been such a totally different movie,
and I would not like it. Sorry, I respect his artistry, but hell no.
And it's a Disney movie. Well, at least they have it on Disney, so I guess it's a Disney movie. Maybe
yeah,
I don't know.
I guess it's one of those movies that Disney has deemed family entertainment, so it's on their platform. So he did and like all of these movies are kind of like the movies of the late 80s, the 90s. Sister Act, Three Men and a Little Lady, Dirty Dancing. So let's see. So 1992 film starring Whoopi Goldberg, who I love, and Maggie Smith and Harvey Keitel. Kayla, what's your history with this movie?
Okay, so I have seen Sister Act and Sister Act 2 a bunch of times. However, I realized that the first time I watched Sister Act, I watched the second one because I guess that's just what was out at the time of when I watched it. That was the one that they consistently were showing on television because it was newer by the time I was watching it. So I knew the second movie a lot more than I knew the first one.
Okay.
I obviously kind of went back to watch the first one and see what that was all about. So a couple times. I've seen them both a lot. So can't get on me this time because I've seen them.
I think it's great that we finally picked a movie that is from our generation that you've seen and know. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of you. Keep it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Terrell, what about you? What's your history with this movie?
I recall watching it in the 90s. I don't believe I went to the theaters to see it, but when it came to home video, I'm pretty sure I watched it probably at your house.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it's something I grew up watching. It's a fun little romp.
It is a romp, isn't it? It's definitely a romp. I feel like a romp is always classified as like when you get a movie and like the end is like people running around.
It's so many nuns.
Yes, it's like
you don't know the black nun. No one would ever pick out the black nun in a sea full of white nuns.
Right. It was so crazy how they hid her in this place, which was like she was like designed to stand out. But okay. So my history with the movie is I'm pretty sure, Terrell, you and I watched it a million times growing up because my mom loved this movie. And my mom does not like movies. She's so freaking weirdo like that. But she loved this movie. And I don't think I saw it in theaters. Because did it go to theaters? I'm sure it did. It did, right?
Oh, yeah. This was a big time theater movie.
Yeah. Back in the day, I just can never remember if movies were in the theaters or not. Because everything, like VHS controlled everything. Like it was a big thing when movies went to VHS. So I know I had this movie on VHS.
Really?
And watched it a lot growing up. I watched Sister Act 2, but not as much as Sister Act 1. But I've seen both of them a million times. Just Sister Act a million more.
So before we get started, what are we sipping on, madame?
I'm glad you asked. For our cocktail for Sister Act, we're going to make holy water cocktail.
Oh, I love to hear that.
And it is super duper easy. So you would just need to fill a glass with ice and add 4 ounces of lemonade, half an ounce of Blue Curacao for a beautiful blue color, half an ounce of peach schnapps, an ounce of rum, a splash of pineapple juice, and stir it with a bar spoon. And there you have holy water cocktail for our fun romp in the nunnery.
You forgot you got the pray on it. You got the
Hallelujah! Thank you, Jesus, for these ingredients.
Okay, all the nuns would be like,
let it bless my soul.
We
Thank
don't
you,
do that in this church.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? All right. So yeah, let's get into the 5-minute recap. So real quick, we start off with baby Dolores, who we're introduced to her as her being a little hellion in school. He's in a little Catholic school, and automatically she's getting disciplined because she is a little jokester, and the nun who is her teacher just automatically dismisses her, and it's like, you're gonna be nothing. And then we get 25 years later, she is a struggling singer in a
struggling, Lord.
Yes, struggling singer.
You in Reno, you struggling.
I don't know anything about Nevada landscape, so we're gonna revisit that one. But yeah, so she's in a nightclub, and we've got Jennifer Lewis beside her.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, I love her. And I've always wondered who the other girl was, and I keep meaning to look it up, and I just never do. But yeah, she is dating a mobster. How she did not know he was a mobster, I do not know, but okay, go off, sis. And she witnesses him and his goons murder someone. They've been dating for a while. He's married. He refuses to leave his wife, and she's already upset with him. And so when she sees him murder someone, she runs off and runs to the police, and the police offer to hide her so that she can testify, and they hide her in a convent. And so we get some funny scenes about her adjusting to convent life, and then finally finding her footing as being the lead director of the choir there, and kind of revitalizing the choir, the church, the neighborhood, and so on and so forth, and making beautiful friendships along the way. And then we get our romp part of the movie when Harvey Keitel's character Vinny finds out that she is hiding in this convent away from him, and tries to find her and kill her because she witnessed this murder. So yeah, and it's just basically about all of the antics that go along during this transition from nightclub singer to nun. That's pretty much it. You guys ready to dig into this fun movie? Well, this movie did super duper well. The budget was, I think, $31 million, and it grossed $231 million at the box office. Yeah, so it did really, really well. And
in her heyday.
It was her heyday. She did a lot of, one thing I liked about Whoopi's career, she led a lot of films that were mainstream. And I love Black movies, but it was she was one of the few Black actresses back then that was cast to lead a lot of films where there were a lot of other white actors.
True.
And I was like, okay.
I mean, she does have an EGOT, so
she's
Whoopi Goldberg
has that cachet.
Whoopi Goldberg is a literal genius because she is adaptable. She can play different roles. She didn't always get typecast into playing a motherly role or anything like that. She was one of those actors that could, be fluid in whatever movie that you kind of put her in, or whatever type of thing that you decided to have her in. And so she was a perfect actress in the 90s. I don't know what she would be like now, but yeah, I really like Whoopi Goldberg.
Well, get ready to find out because Sister Act 3 is coming soon.
Is she in it? I heard
Wait,
I heard that they were gonna do Sister Act 3, and I was like, oh, please.
but I don't know if it's actually coming out.
Is she,
Like, you know how sometimes they'll say, "Oh, we're gonna do a Sister Act 3," but or like a third, another movie, and then it just never happens. It's just like a rumor, or they start on it and then they just scrap it.
Yeah, because I'm waiting on my National Treasure, but you know,
That is still coming. That's coming.
I hope so. Well, I think it's gonna be a TV show. So
I heard it might be both.
okay, cool. I'm so
and,
excited for that.
Is that Tyler Perry is supposed to be the one doing Sister Act 3?
Excuse me?
Wait a minute, what?
Excuse me? Man, quit playing.
Wait a minute.
And I'm saying that for a reason because I just watched Medea Homecoming. No, because I wanted to torture myself. I was like, I got this COVID.
Yeah, I mean, you already had COVID. That was not torture enough.
No, I was like, I need more.
Matter of fact, COVID is an upgrade. Jesus. Oh yeah, I saw that the Sister Act 3 was coming. I didn't realize that he was gonna be part of it. It was already a count me out, but now it's a hell no.
Yeah.
And I love. I mean, did you see where Whoopi was gonna be in it? Because I can't find the page. It's on Wikipedia.
I'm looking at this interview that they did with E.T. and it says, I just want to make sure that we're honest on Dolores and the ladies in the runs and whatever. I don't know. Probably though. I think she might be in it.
I think she said she's going to play just a regular nun or something like that. It was something crazy. She was like, I'm just going to be in it. They're going to give me a check and I need the money.
Yeah, I see it right here. Where it says Whoopi Goldberg returning.
Oh.
Yeah, I see an article that says Whoopi Goldberg returning for Sister Act 3 with Tyler Perry.
See, why? Because I feel like it did a really natural transition from like the movie, the sequel, and then a few years later, the Broadway play. That's cool. Like you revisit it on Broadway and then just let them sing and dance off into the sunset and let that shit go.
Let it go. Please let it go.
But
please let it go.
We're gonna see, Tyler. Okay, no. All right then. What was I gonna say? But yeah, so let's get into the movie. I have a question for you too.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all witnessed your significant other, or like, I don't even think that other was that significant because I'm thinking that they weren't together that long. It didn't seem like they were together that. Because how did she not know that he was a mobster or gangster or whatever?
Turn a blind eye. Some people just like they know what they want to know, but they just like he does what he does, I do what I do, and then we do our thing together. So
right.
Yeah, true enough. But I think if you with somebody long enough, you're gonna start suspecting something because it was like it came as a complete shock to her.
Yeah.
Like, if you with somebody a long time and they always walking around with two goons behind them, like, hey, Vinny.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was like,
maybe I'm stereotyping. I don't know.
Maybe she knew he was a mobster, but didn't think he actually killed people.
Yeah.
And some people are just mobsters who do mobster-like things, but they don't kill people.
Yeah, he just sell DVDs and then you don't kill people, just a little drugs.
Sell DVDs.
Little extortion.
Yeah, just a little extortion. I mean, he's not a murderer, but he was. Okay. Would you testify if in her shoes? Would you testify?
That nigga just tried to kill me. Yeah. I'm testifying. Am
I the only one that's like, no?
You probably is, but you're
terrible.
A boyfriend? He's not even my husband, and he just gave me his wife's coat.
That was
no.
He was your boyfriend, and he also had no problems like killing you. I'd be like, you know what? I would go to him. I probably would have been like, yeah, I'm good.
See you later.
Yeah, come over tonight and we'll have some dinner. And I would play. I don't know. I probably would act just normal. I don't know if I would testify.
How long do you think he'd be like, oh, she's gonna act normal before he's like, nah, just kill her?
I don't know. He seemed like he was all right with it until the two guys were like, Vinny, she don't seem all right.
That's all it took. Well, if that's all it took,
he was like, Dolores, and you good? Yeah, you apologize, right? And then that's when she was like, oh hell, and then she hauled tail out of there. So I don't know. I'd be like, listen, the police be fucking up, and I don't trust them with my life.
Heck no.
Sorry, but And I'm gonna trust them to hide me, like, and then they had a leak in the department. So
yeah, but that's what made this movie really good, though, because that's exactly how it would go in real life. There's always an end. For the most part, there's always an end.
Like,
but yeah, it's like that. Like they be having ends, and people would, especially if you pay enough money to have a police informant, there's plenty of people who would be willing to be like, oh, a $20,000 check,
sure. And then also not even like
a month. Oh, yeah.
Not even like just the money. Like, okay, so we have like a good guy in this film who is Lieutenant Souther.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lieutenant Souther. And he was really good to Dolores, and he seemed to be like a really good cop, but his arrogance got her in trouble.
That was it?
Yes. Because he was, he ran up on Vinny and was like,
yeah.
You're going to jail.
Yeah.
You should be scared. Like,
and that's how Vinny knew, like, oh, he's got Dolores. That's why he's being so cocky. So it's like, just like simple mistakes like that can put your life in danger. And it's like, do I really want to trust the department with my life?
My real question is, what he was gonna do with her alive? Just kill her?
Well, what was who gonna do it to alive?
He was like dead or alive, and I was like, well, what you gonna do with her if she alive? Kill her?
Oh, I guess that was the plan.
Yeah, as long as I got the body, I just need the body. If you got the body alive, bring it to me. If the body dead, bring it to me.
Right.
Either way. But the funny part was the missing person poster.
Right. We miss our daughter.
Our beloved daughter, dead or alive. It's like, whoa.
That thing had me rolling, because I never noticed that like when I was younger, but goodness gracious. I said, whoo, but that took a few chuckles off me right there.
Yeah, it was so extra. Like, it's obvious, like, we really want you to find her so we can kill her. Okay, thanks for playing.
I miss my daughter to death.
Yeah,
literally to death.
I miss her so much, I'll take her dead or alive. Like, okay.
Yeah, no. Why?
And I'm just like, and I don't know, maybe decades ago this would have happened, but I feel like I'm surprised that the church even agreed to it. And I know that like they had like a failing congregation, and like they had all the scaffolding in there, like you tell they had repairs that were needed and stuff. So I guess they needed the money, but I just didn't see the church even agreeing to that.
Yeah. I don't think I ain't gonna get into it racially, but I was like, I thought the problem that she had with Mary Clancy was like, she not gonna fit in here. Look, he is Lily White.
when she went in that door, she saw she was just a minute now. No,
that's what I was like, oh, not Professor McGonagall being racist.
Well, she was racist all through this movie. I love her, but to me, and this probably might get me canceled, and that's cool. But like, I felt like she had that default level of racism that like old white women have. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I get it.
So I get it.
Like I was trying to like give her the benefit of the doubt in a lot of areas. Like when she first saw Dolores, that's a person designed to stick out. Yeah. And I was like, she probably just saying that because Dolores had on that little gold lame jacket and that wild ass hair. Okay, maybe. Not that she was sitting in there black, but I was like,
no, I think it might have been because she was sitting in there black, not Kirsten.
Well, I think it was a combination of the two. She black and had the audacity.
I know, right? You bringing her here? Like, I guarantee she would have been the only nun at the insurrection. Like, I knew it was her.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness! Yeah, But I will say that I think that I like this movie so much is because, and I've shared this before a ton of times on this podcast, but like I really enjoy movies where people start off like in the beginning they're one way, and then by the end of the film they're like a totally different person. And this movie allowed for a lot of growth for a lot of the main characters. Like we see Dolores grow, and we see Mary Mother grow, or what was she? Mary what? I think she's Mary Mother. Isn't that what they were calling her?
I think so.
Yeah.
She grew, their relationship grew, they became like this beautiful friends. And Mary Roberts, junior nun over there, she grew a lot.
It was really cute. They all grew.
It was a lot of growth.
Hocus Nun grew.
The Hocus Pocus nun grew. She calmed down some.
We love her. That's my favorite.
Yeah, but yeah, that was. It's always refreshing to see characters grow, or screenwriters devote time to developing characters. I thought that was really, really great.
They don't make movies like this no more.
No, they don't.
They really don't.
And sometimes I'm glad they don't, because I was watching some of this movie. I was like, but y'all just gonna have the montage. Y'all just gonna be running around, playing the music, just running the music.
That was
a good 5 minutes. That's
beautiful.
Y'all don't see
I love it.
Wait, what part? At the end? Like what part?
It was.
Oh, in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, 90s movies was good for a montage. Come on now.
So 90s. I was like,
yeah.
I'm just gonna settle in.
Look, that's the part where you go use the bathroom if you need to.
Just let it happen.
I think it's cute.
I like a good movie montage if it's done right, because I feel like most movie montages, like in late 80s and early 90s, it's always like some kind of fashion montage where like they're trying on different clothes or like getting ready for something. I was like, it's just a fun little montage of her getting used to convent life. Why not? But yeah, but going back to the Mother Superior character and her approach to how she directed the nuns, what do y'all think about that? Like keeping them away from the community? And
I feel like it's very opposite of what nuns are supposed to do. So she was trying to save them from being corrupt, when the whole purpose of being a nun is to actually go out into the community and save other people from sin. So yeah, and she was rude as fuck.
Typical. Yeah, she was.
Dude, just because me, who are you talking to? Sis.
What scene did you feel that the most in?
It started at the beginning when they were sitting down for lunch or whatever, and she was like, "We're all gonna talk in silence. Silence for the rest of the day." And I was just like, no, because although she was directing the energy to Dolores, like that was like the first. It was like the first where you could see that she ran like such a tight ship with even them, that I was just like, bro, this what they putting up with? Well, I feel like that's not how nunhood is supposed to be. If I ain't gonna be able to have nunhood, it's nunhood.
Going on in this nunnery.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Okay, a new song. Y'all gonna be ready for it at the end?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I just feel like, we all heard the stories about nuns being like mean to kids and stuff like that, but I feel like that's such an opposite way of what a nun is supposed to be. Like, I don't know.
I think after years of being in that position of being a nun and everything being a certain way, that it can kind of put you to a point where you're kind of putting yourself on this pedestal and you're looking down at people. So therefore you talk down to people, treat people poorly just because you think you are that much closer to God than everybody else. So I think that's kind of like, I don't know anything about nuns or anything, monks and none of that Catholic upbringing. I never went to a Catholic school or nothing like that, but that's just the way they portray it when I see it in film. It's like, oh, we can't be with the likes of you because look at who you are and look at who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I really can't speak to the way nuns are or how they're supposed to be, because I really don't know. I've never had any experience or close encounters with nuns, and I feel like that's also one of the reasons why this movie did so well and works, is because movies that give us like an in like situations that we wouldn't normally see, like inside of prisons or inside of a nunnery or convent, or like inside of institutions that we really don't know the ins and outs of,
Mm-hmm.
I think they are interesting to people. And I would say, as far as like Maggie Smith's character, Mother Superior, that comes from decades and decades of doing things the same way.
Yeah.
And then also because you've done it that way for so long, you take on this assumption that that's the best way, that's the most effective way.
Yeah.
And it also could be some of like projecting some of your fears. Like she probably was afraid to go out in the community and was like, this is what's best for the nuns. Keep us inside, keep us safe. And I feel like I can't speak for how nuns should be because I don't know that journey, but I know as far as like some of the things that I struggle with like Christianity is like sometimes it feels like a lot of Christians hide themselves in the church. Like we're in the church and this is where we are. This is where the work we do stays. And that's not how Christianity was designed to go.
Right.
Like, Christians are supposed to be like the revolutionary hands and feet of the church and go out and work and do things, but we don't always see that. And it's like this covered behavior, like, what goes on in the church. We are part of our own group and these are our friends are churchgoers too, and it's like sometimes Christians forget how it is to operate in the world. So
absolutely.
But
I want to go meet some nuns now. Yeah.
Do you think real nuns would be this cool? Like these? Okay, first of all, these nuns were very understanding. Because like one of the last like thoughts that I had about this film was that, and I'm glad that they did it this way because it just kept the movie fun. Because most movies like this where there's like a big deception at the end, they're like, you lied to us, for our friend. And I was like glad that they did not do that because it was like most of the time when I see movies like that and at the end like the character is like, you lied, I'm almost always thinking like they had to lie. It's what it is. Deal with it. I mean, you just gotta deal with it. And that's how these women took it. They were like, okay, her life was in danger. She got away in our folds, and that's that. And they still were friends. I mean, friends on into the next movie.
I know, right?
So but any other things?
I think scenes that really stood out to me. Oh, the Pope. Like, okay, so when everyone was starting to come back into the church because the music was popping and and they found out that the Pope was coming and Mary Mother or whatever her name is, Sister Superior, was like, oh, we need to do a traditional. And I was just like, sis, did the Pope want to come to you before when y'all was doing the traditional? What are you talking about? And then when she got outvoted, how she threw that little tantrum and was like, I'm leaving because I need to be of service. And I was like, no, you're doing a lot, sis.
She was really trying to like pull on their coattails, like, yo, y'all need to listen to me. I know what's best. This lady just got here. She ain't even really a nun, but I can't tell y'all that. But I can tell y'all that what she's doing ain't right and blah blah. Right. But I think that's how it is for some people at some churches, period. No matter the denomination, that's how some churches are. Like anything new is scary to them. Because I remember at a time where people was like, no Kurt Franklin in the church.
Oh my God,
it was going hard for no Kurt Franklin in the church. Now, all you hear is Kurt Franklin. Songs written by Kurt Franklin everywhere.
Right. I agree. I think that is a common occurrence in the church. I think it's a common occurrence in like employment too, because I've been at jobs where like the workplace starts getting diverse and the old people are like,
let's push you guys out. No, I ain't gonna say that because there are poor people who need to work. But I just feel like in certain jobs that it is unfair for you to work after such a long age, like after a certain age, because at the end of the day, I believe that jobs should pay people, a pension or whatever when their time comes, because at the end of the day, there are younger people who are qualified and looking for these positions that have been held by the same person for 20, 30, 50 years, and they're unable to
talking to you, Supreme Court.
I am absolutely talking to you. Because at the end of the day, it's like you've held on to this position for so long that other people cannot get an in. And I think that we need to do better as a labor market in allowing people to retire and giving them enough money that they don't have to work. They can live out those rest of their days in a comfortable, relaxing, not worrying about money state. And I mean, that goes for the lowest income paying job to the highest income paying job. I just believe that there should be something in place for people who get over a certain age.
It was supposed to be something like that. It was.
Let us know.
I mean, we are supposed to be have Social Security, but that has always been in danger, and I'm terrified because, like, when I get of a certain age, like, Social Security may not be there.
But it has been put out there that Social Security is not going to last that long anymore. Yeah. There have to be some very drastic things done in our economy for it to still stick around.
Yeah, well.
Dang, you see, hurt by no
Try not to be depressed today.
So sorry,
buddy. No, like, I mean, I have retirement and stuff, but I'm like, I know that's not going to be nearly what I need. So
no. And the thing is,
hanging on a bucket for a couple decades.
But the thing is, people don't have enough money to live. So you keep going and you keep working and you keep working and you keep working, but you still have stuff come up. You still have other things come up. And then when it's time to retire, you like, well, I don't have enough money to live. Because if you look at it, people that live like paycheck to paycheck will never be able to not work.
Nope.
That's not going to be, they're going to die working. Because if they don't work, they'll lose everything. And if people were getting a livable wage, it would change so many people's lives. And I think it would boost the economy that they act like is only for a certain amount of people, certain group, a certain stature of folks. If everybody would put on, I'm not even gonna say equal playing ground, but just fair playing ground where you can actually live, work, and retire and then go off and live your life.
Right.
But you spend majority of your life work. Who wants to spend their days work when they could have been out hanging with their family, going places, seeing things they've never seen before, or just doing whatever? So I don't know. That's something that's always bothered me about why people act like it can't be done. There's things that can be done. If people want stuff done, they find a way to get it done, but they don't want anything to be done about it. So they choose to act like it's the hardest thing in the world to do.
Yeah, I mean, and there, there's definitely agenda behind it. I mean, separating the working class and the wealthy. Yeah. There is power in that, and also like certain dynamics are structured to make sure that these classes stay separate, that the working class and the poor stay poor and the rich stay rich. Yeah. And but that's a whole nother
we done got real here. I don't even know how we got here.
Because you tried to put Maggie Smith out of a job.
Oh, my bad.
This movie is fun. There's running around, there's nuns, there's singing. Let's get back to the singing, y'all.
Yes, back to the romp. Yes, but back to Mother Superior. I guess people can sometimes naturally be resistant to change, and Sister Mary Clarence or Dolores was a beacon of change.
Absolutely.
For that convent. I mean, she completely represented change and what like a fresh outlook on things can do. I mean, because she like revitalized that community, because the young girls that we saw on a lot of the scenes, they kind of like took to her, and it created this beautiful relationship between them and the nuns, and who knows what track those girls might have been like headed down. Who knows? Because we've got drugs and teenage pregnancy and all this stuff that possibly going on in this community. And so who knows what could have been stopped by these nuns stepping in and being a part of their lives and the lives of people in that community. So I thought that was really dope to see. But speaking of race though, I will say that one thing that I liked that happened but was completely unrealistic was Lieutenant Souther, right? So when Dolores goes to the police station and kind of like basically
Snitch.
snitched. Those police officers did not turn on her, because usually we do see that. Like the girlfriends and wives of drug dealers, they try to get them too.
Yep.
Like, oh, well, you knew about it. You had something to do with it. You saw
Right.
it. Maybe you were in on it.
Yeah, so it like that was interesting.
Right.
Because that was not usually something that's done.
But sometimes they just really. Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go.
I was gonna say sometimes they really want to they want this guy off the street. They really want this case, and they want it so bad they don't care how they get it. So they was like, well, this guy is the top guy in Reno, I guess.
I think it's different.
Yeah.
Clean up these Reno streets. Go ahead.
I was thinking that it's different if you're willingly coming to me to tell on someone, you know what I mean? So they might have been like, okay, we'll give you immunity if you just agree to do X, Y, and Z. And now that happens all the time.
That happens all the time. However, like when she was there and, you know, they kind of were like, well, we want you to testify. And at first she was like, no. And they like kind of like begged her and convinced her and were like, we'll protect you. But that could have went left. And they've been like, well, if you don't testify, then we're going to charge you with such and such. Like that happens a ton as well. Yeah. So I was like, that was cool to see, because not everybody get that luxury. No. That courtesy. No.
Sure.
So yeah. But let's talk about the choir. What did y'all think about Sister Mary Clarence revitalizing the choir and with her show tunes?
Completely necessary.
For real? You look like you about to be a naysayer. Go on. Say it. No. Okay.
No, I think that was something that they very much needed, because people don't want to go to church and be bored. I know they think like, oh, well, this is this and this is that, and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, you putting people in one spot for multiple hours. If you're not doing anything, they not gonna come anymore. They're like, all right, then see you later, and they go about their business. So you gotta find a way to entertain them somehow, some way, even while giving them the word. Put the medicine in the candy.
Yeah, absolutely. When I heard that, I was like, there's no way I would come to church. I'm sorry. And I know you don't come to church for the music.
I think it's perfectly fine to go to church for the music.
Let them bless your soul with the offerings of.
Yeah. So yeah, that would have been, because I would be laughing. I would have been cracking the fuck up in the middle of the service at the old people. Yes, absolutely.
Those people was too old. When that lady only played the piano to end the song, I said, what y'all doing?
What y'all talking about? The bad performance?
With that very first performance, that lady, I think she played it one time in the beginning to start them off and one time in the end.
Y'all ain't gonna fuck with Alma. I blame Alma. I would have been like, well, what's the point? Look, they ain't gonna follow the note no way. So I'm gonna give it to them in the beginning, and then right in the end, I'm gonna come back and finish it off. I mean, really?
Dolores did what Dolores needed to do, okay? I'm so thankful for Dolores, because
man, she breathed life into that part. But I will say this, to me, the bad performance was about just as entertaining as the good one, because
it was.
That was funny to me.
Okay, I have a question. Was Whoopi Goldberg really singing?
No.
I think she was. She wasn't?
No, she was not. Come on.
Okay.
Let's not get.
It sounded like her.
I thought she was.
No.
I know. That's let me get
Terrell a hater. Could Terrell answer with his haterishness?
Not even trying to hate, because the ADR was so terrible in both of these movies that I was like, no, this is not her singing. Could be no one singing.
Okay. Oh, I did not read the Wikipedia page, because there was some controversy
on what the singing.
No, the film was plagiarized from the book A Nun in the Closet.
Ooh.
I did not realize that. Okay. Ooh. Oh, goodness.
Well, now I need to know if she was singing, because it didn't look like it.
It looked like it to me, and it sounded like it. It sounded like Whoopi. Like, Whoopi has this distinct voice. Oh, so this was a lawsuit against Disney? But Whoopi did her own singing.
I need some more proof.
It was Whoopi Goldberg.
It was Whoopi? Okay. Well, all right.
Yeah,
the ADR is terrible. Because it made it look like there's no way she could have been possibly singing these songs.
No, it looked like it to me, but y'all
didn't see how the stuff didn't really sync up whatsoever.
I mean, maybe I just didn't notice it. Or maybe, I'd be real forgiving with these old films, honey. The color gonna be off, sync gonna be off, all that. But yeah, it looks like there was a lawsuit against Disney. A nun named Dolores Blakely.
Oh wow. Didn't try it all, did y'all? That's hilarious.
She claims that The Harlem Street Nun is an autobiography she wrote in 1987, and it was the basis for the film.
Not y'all stealing films, Disney.
Let's see who won, because you don't mess with Disney. They will bring the mouse down on your house.
Yes, they will.
Disney got them pockets, so I'm pretty sure they won or they settled. One of the two.
Blakely dropped the lawsuit. To serve a more robust lawsuit late in 2012, asking for $1 billion in damages. New York Supreme Court dismissed the lawsuit with prejudice, awarding no damages to Blakely. Oh.
Well, now I'm interested. I want to read the book, see when it came out. We need to do a little bit more research on that one.
Wow, sir.
Because we don't support big companies stealing from individuals. So,
Shoot, then you would never watch another Disney movie.
I'm about to say, as much as you love Disney, because Disney
is known for stealing. Like, what you got over there? Let me take that. Let me partake in what you got going on over here.
Disney will take the skin off your body and put it on another person and be like, yes, this is our skin.
Oh, Lord. That's hilarious.
Sorry, Mr. Mouse. Please don't come to my house.
I'm about to say.
Don't bring the mouse down on my house.
Disney ruthless.
Yeah.
Disney is the real deal.
I think it's all cartoons and singing dragons and shit. But no.
Their legal team is nothing to be messed with.
We're gonna get a cease and desist.
I know, right?
We're sorry, Mr.
We heard your little podcast. Like that's Mickey's real voice. It's real deep. And
I heard somebody been talking about Mickey.
Steve.
I also heard that Disney is an awful place to work for.
Really?
I
wouldn't.
Tell
me more.
No, we really get canceled then.
I ain't trying to have Disney show. Who wanted with Mickey?
Not me, sir. I'm just minding my business.
Yeah, it wasn't me, Mr. Mickey, sir. It wasn't me. Anyway, where were we? I will say this movie did so well. It was so freaking popular. If I ran a casino anywhere, I would pay nuns to run through it at once a month.
What? What, did it make it lucky?
They'd be like,
because
it was such a fun romp at the end. Like, all around. Okay.
Really, really running. And I don't understand what they thought they was going to do. And I don't understand why they couldn't get out their exit, though. What was they doing? They were just standing there. Like,
I don't understand why they went in the first place. Like, that was so far-fetched. Like, Mother Superior, I understand you done changed. You done gone through a little shift through this movie. But you done gone from
not that much of a
stay inside, nuns, keep the windows down, don't even look out the door. To let's go stop a mobster. Like
hop on this helicopter.
Yes. And I was like, okay, now what y'all thought y'all was gonna do though? Now mobsters have guns. What y'all gonna do?
These were very religious mobsters who did not want to bring any shame upon the church, and they were really like conflicted with what they had to do. So as long as you got the type of mobsters that got some kind of heart.
It's so funny how they portray mobsters in movies that way. Like they're like cutthroat, ruthless, but they always be like staunch Catholics, and they gonna cheat on their wives, but they ain't gonna leave them. And they gonna kill people, but not religious people. Like that is hilarious.
Really,
but yeah, but
like, did you do it yet? It was like, she a nun. I'm saying that's the Lord. That ain't no nun. Like, he's just dressing up like a nun. Shoot her.
No, make her take her clothes off. I was like, dude, y'all just stop.
Leave that lady alone,
please.
But they was coming up with every excuse not to shoot her.
They really were. But I will say, like going back to the singing in the movie, one thing that I did think that was really smart that this movie did was they did not create new music for them to sing. It was so smart them doing like the doo-wop and like the girl groups in the 60s, because it was kind of like it gave off this vibe like this is going to be music that these women already know, because it was music in their heyday before they got their call. So they know this music, love this music, able to incorporate it into like their ministry now. So I thought it was really cool, because they could have done like all new music and like original tunes and stuff, and I don't think it would have gave off the same effect. And it made it cheesy but cute. I mean, it was like cheesy, like how old people are able to get away with being cheesy and be adorable when they do it.
I got a quick question for y'all. Do y'all think this is where Kanye got his idea for Sunday service? Taking all those different songs and mashing them and blending them together to give you those gospel vibes? If
it is, he'd never admit it.
Right. I don't know. That's a good question, though. I love it in the Sunday service.
I've only seen the footage of it, and it's wow.
Yes,
I don't know, Terrell. Answer your own question. Do you think that that's where?
I think it
was inspired by.
I would not if he were to ever say something like that. I'd be like, I'll go with it. I'll be like, yeah. I mean, because it's a fun movie. They really do, because she was mashing up the songs in the beginning of the movie to transition them throughout their show. I was like, that's nice. That's tight. Not
many people about how awful that was.
Ooh, what's wrong? I'm talking about how nobody wasn't really paying them no attention.
That, and it was just awful, period. Like they sounded awful.
What?
That first, okay, you got y'all before we go to Sister Act 2, y'all watch Sister Act 1's first performance and then watch Sister Act first performance. They are completely different.
Well, yeah, they were supposed to be.
They're better. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, but the second one was
good.
The second one was funded with money, though, and that was the difference.
But that doesn't take away from the vocals. The vocals were awful.
The vocals were the same.
No, the same people? So much better the second movie.
They were professionals by then.
That show that they really could, like, even at the end they was like, hey, y'all ain't listening no way. They was over it. They had been performing there, wasn't nobody paying. Yeah. You feed off the energy of the crowd. And if they ain't really giving you no energy, you're not gonna give it back to them. Now, if you got a big production and they giving you all this energy, they only focused on you, then you're gonna get a lot of energy, so you can give that energy back.
Yeah,
that's how I saw it.
Yeah, like the first one was just, they're just a lounge act. And then the second one, it was like, this is like an actual stage production. So I felt like was the difference between those two. I liked that part of the film. I didn't think the vocals were that bad. You thought so? Kayla and Jean?
I did.
I never thought.
Oh, really?
You never thought?
Interesting. I enjoy that, because I think it's funny. I like seeing Jennifer Lewis bop around, and I think like the way she was just throwing them songs out, it was like she was like, I'm gonna sing every song in my catalog and I'm gonna get the hell off the stage. But yeah, so I will say, what do y'all think about the Mary Roberts character, Miss Junior Nun?
The little one that looked like
with the bangs, the bangs. Whoa. The bangs.
Yes. She was so like a little mouse.
She's one of my favorite characters.
It seemed like she was in that place, that like weird place of like, I want to see more of the world, but I'm also just like this angel who wants to do right, but I still want to explore. She's giving very pure of heart.
I feel like she's one of my favorite characters. I feel like she is one that like showed the most growth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I won't say that not the most, but she's definitely one that showed a lot of growth, because like you said in the beginning, she's like this very mousy character, and then all of a sudden as the film progresses, she has this bigger, stronger voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she was one that was really struggling with, I'm a nun, I've heard my calling, I've answered my calling, I'm a nun, but I also still feel inside that I want to do more, I want to give more, I want to be more, I want to accomplish more. And she was able to, I think Dolores created this really beautiful pathway for her to be able to do that while still being true to her calling and ministry. So I enjoyed her character, and she I don't know if I'm hormonal or what, but she always makes me cry at the end. I don't think it's hormonal because it happens every time.
Why was you crying?
Every time Mary Roberts sings at the end, I cry.
Oh, you don't need to do that no more. You all right?
Yeah, no. Crying is not where I would go.
I cry every time. I don't know what the hell is the matter with me, but I cry every time, especially when they're singing for the Pope and she's whoa, yeah, oh, Miss I love him. I mean, I just feel like
she was singing that, although she wasn't singing, but
well, that's true. I just feel like one of my favorite things to see, like in movies or especially in real life, it's like when you see somebody that's kind of like, they don't always have to be quiet, but they're just kind of like, I don't know, just mainstream, go with the flow, and then they finally find purpose, and then you just see them just like explode and flourish in their purpose, and they're just walking in their path, and things just start falling in line for them. I think that's beautiful. And I see it a lot in the influencer space, like friends or like, know a lot of influencers who kind of like struggle in that space. And then they find that niche that they really enjoy and they start walking in that purpose. I think like the best example of that, and Kayla knows this person, I think the best example of that is Maui Bigelow. Like, before she was just, doing plus size fashion, whatever, but then she kind of found her voice and she's just been flourishing ever since.
Absolutely.
And I think I like to see it because I just have been seeing it a lot, especially like with COVID. A lot of people found their purpose in COVID, like during the pandemic. I guess I shouldn't say in COVID, but during the pandemic, a lot of people found a lot of the things that they probably wouldn't have normally come across, but then they did, and then started walking in their purpose. And it's beautiful to see. I love it. And I think like Mary Roberts is just a shining example of that.
Okay, so just the build up and then I guess the end result of how I guess bring that out of herself. And okay, I'm with you.
I think that character was written really well. Like, because in the beginning, she's like hiding behind the book singing, and then but at the end, she's like, what? So I'm just like, all right, do your thing.
Funny thing was, me and Rhonda was watching it, and then she was like, I haven't seen them in anything else other than this movie. I was like, It's like you probably see them, but you don't really notice them that much because I didn't realize just the nuns. Like,
okay,
who are these nuns? Or like,
has she never seen Harry Potter?
Who's in Harry Potter?
Been looking old since
birth apparently.
But yes, and she's still alive, and she's still like a lot of these nuns are dead. Yeah, I mean, because a lot of them were old, so the only ones you probably would see after that would be Mary Roberts and Mary Patrick, because Mary Patrick was in Hocus Pocus. Let's see, what did Mary Roberts do?
I think she went to Broadway with them.
That's quite possible. Wendy Mckenna. She was in Air Bud. Yeah, she appeared regularly on stage since the 80s. She did quite a few like television appearances, but nothing like where she had like a recurring role or anything. But Mary Patrick played by, what was it, Kathy Najimy? Of course, she was, once again, at Hocus Pocus.
Looking back at this film, it was really 80s/90s. And like you said, it is a romp. You get caught up in the music, you get caught up in the story, even though the story is somewhat ridiculous because these things would not happen. That lady would have been dead. She
wouldn't have got out of that casino.
No. Because they were just shooting in the casino. Anytime you down and just throw some bullets around in a public place, you don't care about nothing. So you don't get to that target.
She wouldn't have got in my Uber.
Right.
Take the cab, just drive. Somebody's after you. And I think
I'll be laying down. I'll be laying down in the floorboard. You got it.
Because they ain't gonna catch us. They gonna catch you.
I will say, I have to talk about tropes and representation. I can't say there's any queer representation in this movie because there weren't any queer characters. So there's that. Black representation. You guys have any thoughts on that?
There were 2 Black people in the entire movie. Well, this first one at least.
This film really wasn't really for Whoopi Goldberg. She ended up getting this role, they wanted it to go to Bette Midler originally.
Bette Midler. Oh, I couldn't have seen her in this role. I couldn't. Yeah, no. This movie to me, although you saying that they want, no one else could have played Sister Mary Clarence like Sister Mary Clarence. Bette Midler would not have done it. It would not. I don't think it would have been as big of a success.
You're probably right. I believe that.
I think Bette Midler could have done it, but I think that part of the film being a success was that Whoopi did it.
Yes,
because I mean,
and she was so different. Bette Midler would have just been another white woman in a nunnery. Like,
I think it was that she was so very different. Like she stuck out like a sore thumb, and I think Bette Midler could have stuck out like a sore thumb, but not in the way that a Black character would have. So I think they used this character's color to their advantage, which, okay, cool, whatever. I think Bette Midler, I mean, she's a powerhouse singer. She could have definitely like commanded the stage, but it was surprising to see Whoopi be able to command the stage like that and sing and draw attention, but then also give attention to these other women. I watched this movie and I was like, does this movie have magical Negro vibes? Because that's the first thing I would think, like a Black person coming in to like help save this convent. But I'm gonna say that it doesn't. I mean, I guess at the very core root of it, you could be like, maybe, but I felt like it was kind of like a relationship where there was like reciprocity. Like she came in and she breathed life into them, and then they breathed life into her. And it was one of the rare occurrences where I see like it's like an equal partnership of doing for each other, like a relationship, like and ultimately a beautiful friendship. So because they could have easily had her come in and be in a role of servitude. Like, oh, I don't think you'll fit in as a nun, but you can come in and like work in the church and clean up or something like that. And then she was like some kind of church janitor and was like, you know what, I can sing in the choir too. And then she come in and magically uplift their choir. It could have very well been that, but I'm
sure someone wrote that movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure that movie exists somewhere and it'll be out pretty soon.
Yes. So
might be talking about the plot of Sister Act 3.
And you know, and it could have also very well been where any of the white characters were the star, but they just had Whoopi come in and do her thing. So I like that they let her be the star, let her take control. It's just a fun movie. I love this movie. Let's go into best, worst, weirdest. Terrell, you want to start us off?
Sure. Best, worst, and weirdest. The best part about this film is that, you know, it's a fun film. You get to see Whoopi Goldberg in her element, being funny, of course. The worst part of this film, I really didn't like the mob element too much. I mean, I understand it was necessary for the film to go forward, but I liked seeing the work that they were doing in the community more than I cared about what the mobsters were doing and trying to do with the crooked police and stuff like that. And the weirdest part of the film was when the lieutenant shot through the glass and ended up just shooting the guy that was about to shoot Sister Mary Clarence.
God, yeah.
How, bro? How? It's like, was it a two-way mirror? How did you know who you were shooting? You just come in shooting through the glass, guns ablazing, and you just happen to hit your target. So
you could have fucked one of them nuns up. Like, that was a real shot in the dark, like literally.
Bam! And he goes jumping through at the same time. Like, bro, ain't no way.
It was extremely extra, yes. All right, Kayla May.
All right, my best part of the movie was all of the singing. I loved everything about when they became a choir. It was gorgeous. I was like, look at them little singing nuns. So that's my best. My weirdest was probably best worst. So my worst, I love this movie so much. Do I have a worst? I don't know what my worst would be. Like, I really like this movie. Maybe just, you know, I guess the storyline isn't realistic, but I don't necessarily know that it had to be. It's just a movie about nuns singing. So maybe that's my worst. Weirdest was why that lady was so mean. I just feel like that she was doing the complete opposite of what nuns were supposed to do, keeping them in the house instead of going out to fellowship with the people. I think that was really weird. So
I would say my best, worst, weirdest is best is just this movie, I feel like it's just a lot of fun. And I don't think I've ever heard anybody say they don't like this movie. I think it has something for everybody, even though like, okay, so the mobster element is really just like, it's really just to propel the movie forward. But you know, if you like a mobster film, there's a little bit of that in there for you. If you like a musical, there's a little bit of that in there for you. If you like comedy, there's a little bit of that in there for you. So it's just a well-rounded movie that has like a lot of zany antics that everybody can enjoy. But I would say the worst, like, I don't think there were any parts that I was like, I don't like this, except for one. And it came from one of my favorite characters, or like a character that I had very many redeeming qualities. So I just hate that this one scene happened. But I mean, I guess it was for comedic purposes. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But Lieutenant Souther, who he's just seemed like such a nice guy. And when he went to go get her and he was like, you know, Vinny knows that you're here and I need to get you out of here now. And she was like, I can't go. They need me. And he was like, what do they need you for? For makeup tips?
I was like, damn.
I was like, that's, and it's just, I know it's supposed to be like him trying to be cutesy or funny or whatever, but it just reminded me of like times you go through in your life when you're really trying to change and people be like, what are you going to do? Like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and don't accept and acknowledge that you are changing and trying to be better. Yeah. And so it was just like, I don't like that, but I guess. So that was my worst. And my weirdest would be like, I've read so many forums where people are like, why is Mary Roberts dressed differently from everybody else? And nobody knows the answer. And I guess like nunhood is this very closeted, closed thing to where people don't really understand the ins and outs. And so most people just settle on, I think she's just a junior nun. So that's what I've been calling her, a junior nun.
Yeah.
But like, we do not know like the structure or like the processes to becoming a nun. All we know is that just all of a sudden have on a nun outfit. And I guess there's levels to this, I guess. So
or maybe she was just wearing some casual nun wear.
Stop that, gangs.
She was like, I ain't got to be fully nutted out all the time.
Like, that nun outfit is hot. I'm gonna put on this little dress, and that's how we're gonna rock. So that's it for my best, worst, and weirdest. Terrell, it's happy hour. You ready?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Who you sharing a cocktail with?
I'm sharing a cocktail with Jennifer Lewis.
Always. Terrell, guys, are you sharing it with Jennifer Lewis or her character now? Because Jennifer Lewis ain't one of the characters.
I like Jennifer Lewis.
What character
being a cocktail with Jennifer Lewis? She was in the film.
If you can't name her name, then you can't share no cocktail with her. Damn.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you tried it, buddy. You tried it. What character would you sit down and share your cocktail with? Or share a cocktail with?
It would probably have to be Sister Mary Clarence.
Sister Mary Clarence. Okay. All right. Why?
Because she was just fun. Everything she did, she wanted it to be lighthearted. She wanted it to be fun. She didn't want to go anywhere where it was just all stuck up and just dry. She brought the energy to the place. So I like the energy she was bringing.
Good choice. Kayla?
Just the Mary. Down. Don't even have to ask me no more. She the only one who gonna drink.
First of all, everybody's name was Sister Mary. Who are you talking about?
Oh, Sister Mary Clarence. Yeah, no. She the only one who gonna actually have a drink with me. Let's start there. Like,
they drink wine?
Who would you share your communion?
Do nuns drink wine? Because I doubt it.
For communion, what are you talking about?
They drink the real stuff. They don't drink the Welch's.
Yeah, but this black folks drink the Welch's.
You ain't gonna see them there with no Jack Daniels. Jack and Coke, y'all.
Pass the Jack.
No. Did y'all know that they don't bathe in hot water?
I mean, a lot of convents be real like salt of the earth places. Like,
they ain't got no hot water either. How you gonna bathe in the hot if you ain't got the hot?
They cannot excessively drink, and I'm gonna want to excessively drink.
But you know, like, okay, but like, remember on Evil, where like those nuns made the barrels of bourbon? Was it wine or it was something?
Yeah, they were
barrels. I think it was bourbon.
Oh,
or was it? No, it was wine made in bourbon soaked barrels. That's
yes. That's what it was.
Y'all, I'm gonna go.
Now Kayla want to be a fucking nun.
I don't want to be a nun, but I'm gonna go to the nun places. I want to see what they about, and they got a couple of them here in Atlanta.
So you just gonna knock on their door? They just gonna let you in?
Yeah, they're supposed to be helping people.
What y'all doing in there? Like, hey, what are you gonna go and say?
I'm gonna say that I'm in need of prayer or some shit like that. But yeah, no, I'm going.
I'm in need of prayer and wine
and shit like that.
Open up, nuns. Hey, look,
let me in.
Yeah, I think that sounds a little misguided. I think you need to think that through. Anyway,
to see what they doing in there, but that's how I feel about Jehovah's Witness. Because they ain't got no windows. I be like, what they doing in there?
Not me. I be all carry on.
I just want to see.
Yeah, carry on.
Y'all you really don't want to see Kirsten.
There's lots of stuff I don't want to see and know about.
The nuns? You don't want to know about the nuns?
No. First of all, let me tell you something. Outside of this movie, nuns kind of scare me. But we'll talk another hour about that shit. Because look, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's why this movie worked, because they showed nuns in a positive light. They was all happy, and like Sister Mary Patrick was singing and Roberts was singing, and they were just nice. Man, every other nun, they've been like in movies, they've been like extremely crazy religious fanatics, or they be like supernatural killers and stuff. Like what's the movies? Is it the nun? They're scary.
Yeah. But those are scary movies.
But they still be nuns.
And that's what I'm saying. That's all we really know. Like that, the public. If you're not Catholic, that's really all you know about nuns. Mm-hmm. Is that they kill us and they evil. And I hate that because that's not true. But that's what the media tells us.
I'm going undercover. I'll let y'all know all about it.
Well, that baby, get your black ass out of here. You know that nun.
That would be funny. Trying to go undercover to see what they doing in there, and they just sitting around doing nothing, playing Uno and praising God. You'd be like.
It's boring. Where the wine at? Get out of here.
Uno, y'all don't play spades and nothing else.
That's the movie I need to see. Undercover Nun, starring Kayla. No. Anyway, I'm sharing my cocktail with Sister Mary Lazarus.
That's old soul, yeah.
Yes, because I loved her in this movie. She was hilarious. Like, and I feel like she would sit down and just be like, yeah, back in the convent in the 30s, we used to do this, and or her life before the convent, I think would be very interesting. So Mary Lazarus is my happy hour partner.
Yeah. You said in the 30s what they were doing? Well, you know what they would have been doing with your ass in the 30s.
Very true, very true.
That's funny.
But it was San Francisco, so maybe. Any final thoughts again? Terrell, what you binging on this week? What have you been watching on your telly?
I have been, I know y'all probably missed this, but y'all should not have missed this. And that was the versus between Omarion and Mario.
It was a clusterfuck.
Featuring Ray J, Pleasure P.
If I had one wish.
What's so funny is someone else sung his song while he was there.
Yeah, that was Sammy.
I didn't watch
Sammy can sing.
I watched some of it.
It was on for too long. It was long as hell.
How long was it? I didn't watch it.
It was over 4 hours long. It was
hell no.
Too damn long. And Omarion and Mario, I don't know what they was doing, but they took forever to come out.
I did not know that. Yeah, Omarion and that Ray J couldn't sing.
Ray J could sing.
Right.
Well, no, I just never thought about it. Like, I mean, he not somebody that I would sit and be like, that boy can sing. I just ain't never thought about it. But seeing him sing for real was a sight to behold. It was definitely something.
It was entertaining. I'll tell you that. Jesus, it was so entertaining.
Yeah.
It was scary entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Well, Carla, what you binging this week? What have you been watching?
Chicago Med. There's a TV show called Flashpoint. I don't know. I'm back into my medical and police shows. Mm-hmm. So that's what I've been watching.
Okay. All right. So watching your old procedural dramas. Nice.
Yes. Yes. They'll do it for me every time. Every time. Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel.
Definitely been watching Miss
Good,
Marvel.
good.
Okay, cool. I mean, I just finished the latest season of Stranger Things.
Oh, how was that?
I enjoyed it, but I like that show, and I feel like it's just screams 80s, which I mean that's obviously what it's trying to do, and it just feels 80s. Like they accomplished that really well. So
you don't think they took too long to bring it back for the 4th season?
They did take a long time, but I mean I've just been quite forgiving with these TV shows because I know COVID hit a lot of industries really hard. So I'm just glad they did return, and I appreciate that they returned and they didn't do like this rushed season, because a lot of shows return and did like a very rushed final season or rushed like just season period. Because like one of my favorite shows, Pose, that last season was super rushed, and it was like, okay, we can tell.
And you could tell.
Yeah, and but yeah, I think they took their time and came back. And one thing that they did that is kind of weird, but it looks like Netflix is just doing that. But like they put out, I guess there's supposed to be 9 episodes, when they put out 7, and then the last 2 are available on July 1st, and I'm like, why?
Oh yeah, I saw that. I'm waiting for all of them to come out, then I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, that's probably best.
I don't watch Stranger Things, but I do watch The Umbrella Academy, and they did the same thing where they waited a little too long to put that one out too, and now I'm kind of like,
Yeah,
it was so good.
I think that's the downfall of streaming. Once you watch it and you have to wait so long, because these shows are like big budget movie productions now, and it's so much money going in, there's so much time they take. Like by the time it comes back around, you done forgot about it, or you moved on to something else, or you like, I'll catch it when I catch it. And it's not something like you have to get to, right? It's not must-see TV anymore for you.
Right. Absolutely agree. All right. Well, so that is our show. Hold on.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. For bonus content and to learn more about the show, you can head over to sipsandscripts.com and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Sips and Scripts Podcast. If you've got a suggestion for a film to discuss, want to